Hello AEM community, and welcome back to another HelpX video. In today's video we're going to go through how to create an Adobe Experience Manager HTL component that displays a repeating data set. So let's take a look at an example. So this is the example component, so you can see that each section has a heading, has an image, and has text. So we can set all of these data sets using a Touch UI dialog. So if we open up Touch UI dialog, go to full screen, we can see that each section of this multi-field has each of the three data pieces. So we have the heading here, we have a path field that points to a digital asset in the DAM. So for example, we want to change the image, all we have to do is click this and then we can scroll to the different images. So here let's take a look, we'll change the image, click the OK button, you can see now that we've changed out the image. So this is a really convenient way to set a repeating data set that you want to put into your AEM sites. So this type of component is a typical component you'll find on many online sites. So for example, a sports section, it'll have a heading, you can make it a hyperlink if you want, it has text, it has image. You can see it repeats. So this is very similar to the type of HTL component that we're going to create in today's video. So if we go back to our example, you can see it has very similar look and feels. You can of course use CSS to style it differently, so if you want your text beside the image you can do so. You can use CSS to sort of define the look and feel of the component further. However, experimenting with CSS is beyond the scope of today's video. We're going to go through how to create this component and then how to get it up and running. So the first step to create this HTML component is to build a Adobe Maven 10 archetype project. So from the article, you want to be in this section. Simply copy this command from the article and place it in your command prompt once you've set up Maven. So for the parameters that they're going to request, we can use simply repeat HTL. For the package, we can put in com community AEM. And then for the rest of the parameters, simply repeat HTL. When prompted for Y, hit Y. Now notice that we have a successful build. So we scroll down to the next step. We want to see that we're going to put in a Maven Eclipse, and this is going to let us configure the project to a Maven project to an Eclipse project. So we change the directory to repeat HTL, and then we can enter in our Maven command. Eclipse. And then this will convert our project so we can import it into Eclipse and then complete the back end. So once you successfully converted the project to Eclipse, you can import it using Eclipse. So what we want to do is click File, Import, browse, select existing project in the workspace, browse to your working directory, and then import it. We've already done so in this video, so right now what we want to do is work under the repeat HTL core project, and then in that project notice the package comp communities AEM core. Here we're going to place two classes. One is named issue bean, and then the other one is named issue multi-bean. So first I'll explain issue bean. The issue bean class has three data members, has a string page has another string path and has another string description. This page is going to simply hold the heading of the page. So for example, looking back at our component, it would hold West Carleton Wolverines lose to Bengals, Ottawa Red Blacks visit the Wolverines, West Carleton Wolverines win the championship. The path is holding the value that the AEM author sets the path set to. So for example, it would hold the JCR path to all the digital assets, and then the description is holding the text. So for each multi-set that an author sets, it's going to instantiate a new bean instance, and then it's going to set all three of these data members. So this is really important to understand between when you're working with HTL and multi-fields. Ultimately, every field in that multi-set, no matter if it's 2 or 10, has to correspond to a data member in a bean. Otherwise, you're not going to successfully be able to store the data or call it when you need to display it back into the front-end component. Second class using the component is named Issues Multi-Bean. This class extends WCM use Pojo, which is our base class when we create an HTL component. So first off, let's take a look at one of the data members. It's named iBeam, it's a type list, and each element is an issue bean. So this is going to store all of the multi-field data sets that an author sets. So for example, if they set 4 multi-set fields, this is going to store 4 issue beans element in this data collection. So first, to notice that we're going to be overriding the activate method. And so the first part of this, we're just going to get all the data that an author enters into the TouchUI dialog, and then we're calling set items. And so set items, what's happening here is we're going to be getting all of the data from each multi-set. You can see we're going through a for loop here, and then we're going to be setting, we're going to create a new issue bean object, and then we're going to be setting each one, each path, each description, and each title, and then we're going to be adding it right here to the collection. So this is how we are reading the dialog, and then we're setting it into the collection, and it's passed back to the front end where it's displayed. So this is really important to understand when working with a multi-field in HTL. First off, you have to have a bean, we have to have some sort of collection, typically it's a list, and then we're going to be setting it in usually in a method named setItems. Once all this is done, then the back end of the Java component has done its job and it's ready to send to the front end where it's going to be rendered out into the component. So after you've set both classes in your project, so the issue bean class and the issue multi-bean class, we can move on to setting up the Pom file. So last note to make about the classes is you can copy and paste the Java code from the article into your IDE. So next what we need to do is we need to set the Pom file at the base of your project. So in this case, repeat HTL. So copy this dependency. And then go to your working directory. So here's our Pom file. We're going to open it up. We'll open it with brackets, like this tool for modifying Pom files and other coding related tasks. Scroll down to roughly line item, I believe 380. So you can see here's our dependency section. What we want to do is copy and paste from the article right into this dependency section. Save out the file. So if you're using AEM 6.2 as we are in this example, make sure that we have this version uncommented. For other versions, you can uncomment the applicable version number. Second Pom file we're going to modify is the one located in our Eclipse project. So we're going to scroll down here, we're going to grab all the dependencies. We'll open up our IDE, go to the Pom file, scroll down to the dependencies, and then we'll overwrite them. So now that we've updated the Java, updated the two Pom files, we're ready to build our project. At this point, we're at this section of the article, build the OSGI bundle using Maven. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter in this Maven command. It's Maven p auto install package install. This is going to upload the entire project, both the front end and the back end, to AEM. So let's run this command. So now notice that we have a successful build. So now we know that our back end is compiled successfully. Our front end is ready to work on. So at this stage we have our repeat HTL and we have an English subpage. So when we open up this, we have our default outlook. There's no repeating data set yet. So what we need to do next is to build the front end. Now we're ready to build the front end component. So we should be at this section. So what we want to do is we want to go to this path. So apps repeat HTML components content. Then we want to create a new component named tabbed component. So click create component. And then you can copy in tab component, tab component, tab component. For the super type, this is what we want to inherit from. Enter in foundation components parbase. And then for the group, we want to put it under repeat HTL. And then finally, we want to enter this value in for allow parents. So this is going to allow us to use it under the parser system for AEM. And then click OK, save. What we have now under tab component is simply a script. We still have to add the dialog box. So to add the dialog box, what we need to do is follow this procedure. We're not going to do it in today's video because it's going to take too long. But if you follow along with this, you want to step through this procedure and build out all of these JCR nodes. So when you're done, you should have this look as shown in this illustration. So once you're done building the dialog, you'll have a structure in the JCR that looks like this. So instead of building out that structure, what you can do is you can install the package shown at the beginning of this article to sort of speed up this example. The last thing we need to do is place the code on the front end, replace it with the code shown in the article. So what this is going to do is we're going to be hooking into the back end. So notice here we have data sli use, and then we're putting in the fully qualified path to the back end Java class that we created. So in this case it's com communities AEM core issue multi-bean. So this is the class that we built in Eclipse, and that extends WCM use Pojo. Notice here now that we're hooking into the collection, and then we're going through and we are setting it up to iterate through the collection using data sli list items. So for every item in this collection that we've set, it's going to go through here and it's going to set a div with an image, and the image is going to get the path that's in the bean, and it's going to set it to 200 by 270. It's got different CSS here for padding and so forth. We're going to have items page, so this is going to be the heading, and then finally we're going to have a p tag issues description. And so this is how it renders out. And then notice here we've got a little bit of styling up here just for inline rendering. So this now will result in our HTML component displaying an image, a heading, and text, and then it'll repeat for every element in that collection. So this concludes today's video, and I hope you've learned how to build a HTML component that shows repeating data and then also includes digital assets. Thank you very much for watching.